Hey, Shalom, this is your brother Yonathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. All right, so there's an article that I want to show you guys, and we're going to expound on it using the scriptures, because in the times to come, man, it's going to be perfectly clear that, you know, this kumbaya spirit that they try to push in America. Why does it matter about color and race, what you know nation you belong to? You know, it doesn't. People are going to cling to their own, and the wicked, who the Lord created to be the wicked, He created them to have hatred towards us. They're going to show their horns more and more the closer we get to the threshold of America being casted down. All right, so I want to show you guys this clip, and then we'll read some precepts.
And business owner was just murdered by his white and wealthy neighbor in Forney, Texas, and no one's really talking about it. Aaron Martinez and his wife celebrated their 35th birthday on Sunday, April 30th. The next day, May 1st, she had to start planning his funeral. Apparently, on the afternoon of May 1st, their 30-year-old neighbor, Trevor McEwen, who had previously harassed them multiple times, stalked them with a scope, said he didn't want Latinos here, and accused them of selling drugs in order to be able to afford their ranch property. Waited for Aaron to confront him. He then trespassed the property, followed Aaron, and shot dozens of times towards Aaron and his truck before finally killing him. After killing Aaron, Trevor fled the scene, and after a standoff with deputies, he was ultimately arrested and charged with murder. Aaron and his family had made multiple reports in the past seeking help from law enforcement. Aaron and his family truly deserve justice. Please share this video and help spread the word.
So this is Ezekiel 35, and we'll start at verse 4. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Verse 35, the point. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. All right, we're talking about the nation of Edom. They've had a non-stop hatred going all the way back to the book of Genesis when Jacob was given the blessing. All right. That's why Esau, everything that he does, if you notice, he's trying to manufacture his own blessing. You know, the things that we get day one, he's trying to do it himself. Immortality, right? Manipulation over the elements, complete control and dominion over the people in the lifestyle that they live. That's going to be given to the nation of Israel. The Lord's way is going to reign in the earth. And those who don't fall in line in the kingdom of heaven with the Lord's ways, judgment is going to happen to them. But people are going to want to, you know, commit righteousness because it's going to lead to life. It's going to lead to peace. It's going to lead to flourishing families. It's going to lead to, you know, having better relationships with the people around you. Because everything's going to be governed by righteousness. All right, Ezekiel 35 and 5 again from the top. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Okay, so this devil took things much too far. Okay, especially during our last captivity here in America, and the so-called Latinos and Native Americans also had a great suffering within that same, within this land in that same time period. Much of our blood was shed, and we know in Numbers, the 33rd chapter, it tells us what? The land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him who shed it. So justice is going to come by way of our power. He's going to make things right. But before that happens, even your low-level Edomites, man, are going to start to show their horns. You know, our people are so concerned when we bring out this message about what about the white man? They're about to realize that this man could never change and that he has that perpetual hatred towards them, and that it's something that's embedded in his character. It's not something they can get rid of. They innately have that spirit in them towards us. And they're the one nation of people on the earth who are not going to, get to flourish in the kingdom of heaven. Like it says in the book of Obadiah, there should be none remaining in the house of Esau. Now, the guy in the video, it said they went to the police multiple times warning about this man. And you look at the picture of the Edomite that they put on the screen, you could just, by looking at him, you could tell he's a little off his rockers. These are the kind of people that, 2/3 of Jake want to save, are concerned about. They have the Stockholm syndrome, all right? They have fell in love with their oppressor. They always want him to be involved. They don't realize that they have an enemy. The scriptures tells us that we have enemies. You go to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, the chief nation that was confederate against us is the nation of Edom and all these other nations. Nah, so like I got a phone call, but yeah, man, this devil's going to show his horns on a much higher scale. And the scriptures say this. Let's get some references here. All right, this is Matthew 24, and we'll start at verse 9. It says, "Then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake," because we're standing for the ways of righteousness. All right, we're putting off the vibration, the way of life, the perception of what's right and wrong according to the world for righteousness. So we're going to be made out to be the problem with society. We're going to be made out to be, the direction that they don't want to go. Hey, these guys, they're taking us backwards, and for us to have peace amongst all people, we got to get rid of people like this. And they're going to justify it. They're going to set things up, false flags, to where it's going to seem right in the eyes of people to actually get rid of those who are standing for righteousness. It's going to seem like, oh, this is the only course of action to take. They're going to make it seem that way with their propaganda, their media machine, and their spellcasting. All right, verse 10. It says, "And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many." Yeah, people who are rising up, who have sweet words, but it doesn't line up with the prophecies of the book. It doesn't line up with the words of God. And that's why we must filter everything through the Spirit. Whatever you hear or you're confronted with, you got to say, hey, does this line up with the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai? And by that, you can, you know whether to throw something out or whether it can be, used for edification. Okay, but that comes with reading and really being locked in. Blessed is he that readeth, right? All right, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. There's going to be a lack of food. There's going to be so many crises and real crises and fake crises. People are going to be, in an uproar, and they're going to turn inward and be like, I'm just going to focus on me, mine. So the love of many is going to wax cold. And people are going to be willing to do any kind of evil to make sure that they're good. All right, so like I got another phone call. It made me lose my train of thought. I think I was at verse 12, okay? It's verse 12 again. "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." All right, so yeah, it's going to be a lot of real crises, fake crises. It's going to cause people to be worried about themselves and willing to do whatever evil under the sun to make sure that they're good. Okay, but we got to endure to the end. We got to go through these things, and it's just the rite of passage, right? Verse 13, "But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. Then shall the end come." So right now we're in the process of the gospel being preached in all the world, and we're leading up to that the ministry coming to its cutoff point, because we're not going to be out here teaching forever. We're not going to have access to the understanding and brothers breaking it down, what to look for, the mindset to have during these times. You're not going to have access to it forever. This thing has an endpoint. And once the famine of the word comes, that the elect have pretty much been sealed. All right? Because then it's time for judgment. Okay? It's time for a whole nother phase of righteousness going out in the earth. All right? So let me get one more precept here. All right, so this is 2nd Ezra 16, and I'm going to start at verse 68 here. It says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you." All right, some of you should be cast into prison. You shall have tribulation 10 days. "Be thou faithful unto death, and I shall give thee a crown of life." All right, so it's pretty much referenced here again. But we're instructed to not, fear them that can kill the body, but to fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell. We know if we're able to get through that instance, if that's your lot, to be taken, put in a concentration camp, an internment camp, or whatever. If you can get through that, you for sure are going to be granted the eternal life. you know, you're stamped. That crown of life is going to be given to you because you stood stiffly for righteousness, and you didn't fold and give into the pressure of taking the mark or bending the knee to the will of the wicked. Okay, verse 69. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. And even if you do consent unto them, what is going to be to your detriment anyway? You're still going to be destroyed. They're going to tell you, oh, if you do this, man, you'll have life. Everything will be okay. It's not true. All right. Verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So people, man, look, this devil's going to show his horns more and more so. You just have to be circumspect and prepared for it. And we're going to hear stories like this popping up all over. So, you know, with that being said, man, Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.